Have you ever been told to edit your work? Just edit your work. Just fix your grammar. Do you know how to do that? Have you read your work over and over again and yet you still can't find your grammar errors? This video is going to give you 5 specific strategies that you can use right now to improve your writing, to edit your grammar, and to get rid of all those pesky little grammar errors. Are you interested? If so, let's take a look. In this video, I'll be covering the editing strategies section of Chapter 2, Understanding Grammar Errors, from my book, Editing Academic Text, Verb Form. Ready? Here we go! Chapter 2 gives us 5 specific strategies for editing grammar errors. Some techniques may be new, while others you may have already tried. Even if you aren't initially interested in a strategy, I encourage you to try them all before you reject any of them. You can't have too many tools in your writing toolbox. We have focus practice, isolate errors, read aloud, take breaks, and have fun. Let's take a look at these one at a time. H.L. Hunt once said, "Decide what you want. Decide what you are willing to exchange for it. Establish your priorities and go to work." This is a quote for us to understand focusing our practice. We need to establish our priorities and go to work. What is focus practice? To focus means to concentrate the effort. That's pretty easy to understand. This strategy specifically addresses the second reason for grammar error, lack of recognition. The grammar edits in editing academic text are set up to enable you to focus. Focusing on specific grammar forms will enable you, as the editor, to see those errors better. In your own text, you can focus as well. How exactly do we do that? One way to effectively use this strategy is to choose one specific grammar feature to focus on. It could be your verbs or maybe your nouns. Perhaps you want to focus on your clauses or punctuation. The key is to focus on one feature at a time. By directing your attention to the specific grammar feature and focusing all your effort on it, your brain can zero in on the specific rules and aspects of that feature, which will make your editing more specific. So what do? To be most effective, you should master one grammar feature at a time in your editing. While it may seem like such a focus is slowing you down, ultimately it will make your overall editing more successful, which will save you time in the end. Focus on one thing at a time. Estee Lauder once said, "I didn't get here dreaming about it or thinking about it. I got here by doing it." What we want to do for the next strategy is isolate your errors. First we focus, and then we isolate them. To isolate simply means to separate. This strategy goes hand in hand with the focus strategy. After focusing, we isolate. So what does that mean? If you are only going to do one of these strategies, isolation is the single most effective way to edit. Every student I've ever taught who practices this strategy decreases their grammar errors in editing. It works. Isolation. So, how do we isolate? Well, when you edit, you aren't reading the sentences for meaning. Instead, you are looking at the individual feature or word for specific grammar. How exactly does it work? First, you assign an easy-to-recognize mark, such as underlining or highlighting. Then you simply identify the grammar feature and mark it in your text. After After you have indicated all the grammar features, then you review them one by one. Remember, you aren't reading for meaning, but more like treasure hunting for that particular grammar feature. After you have read them one by one, you check them and change any mistakes that you find. That's it. Super easy, no? Let's take a look at how it works for real. I'll be isolating and underlining the verb forms. Then I will go through and look at them one by one and check my forms in this paragraph. First, I'm going to go through my paragraph and underline everything that I think is a verb. We have will, be, talk, provide, is, are, asking, did, do, work, say, make, is. Okay, now I have all the verb forms isolated. I'm going to look at the grammar forms based on all the rules I know, one at a time. First of all, we have will and be talk are clearly one verb tense here. I see that the present participle verb form talking is required in this active voice future continuous verb pattern, and I wrote talk instead. So I'll change the talk to talking and ta-da! One grammar error fixed. In my next sentence, I see the underlined verb provide. I notice that the singular noun elevator requires the singular verb form provides. I just add an S to the verb provide and done. Just like that, I fixed another error. So what's my subject here for my verb is? I look and see that it's ground and that the singular noun requires the singular verb form is. Ooh, I did that one correctly already. Yes! The pronoun you here requires the verb form are, and that's another one I did right. So I'm on a roll. Now I see that asking is a gerund, and a gerund requires a present participle, and I did it correctly. All right. Did you do the homework? In the past, this is correct, and the pronoun you requires irregular verb form did, so yep, that one's good too. Now I have the noun subject for this verb work, and that is the gerund. So I know that the gerund form asking requires the singular verb form works, and I made a mistake here. So I just need to add the S and boom, fix that one. Moving on, we have say. Now this has to be wrong because it's supposed to be a noun, and I know that a noun gerund requires the present participle, so I need to add an ing here to make that correct. Elevators. Elevators requires the plural verb form make, and I did that one right. One more. Where's my verb for this gerund say? It is. So saying requires the singular verb form is, and that one I got right. Now I need to go through and see. Do you see how easy it is to use the isolation strategy? In this paragraph, I found and corrected 4 errors. If I had submitted such a paragraph, my grade would have been unhappy. Instead, my verbs are spot on awesome, and they're all right. And with that, we have done the isolation strategy.
Well, we've run out of time, haven't we? We've only gotten through the focus strategy and the isolation strategy. Studying, editing, learning, it takes so much time. But luckily, I'm in charge. And so I'm going to say goodbye right now after only going over the focus and isolation strategy. There's another video with the other 3 strategies. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to subscribe, then you will know when I post all the new videos. Or you can just click on the bell here below and you'll get notification there as well. So I hope you learned something today. These strategies work. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.